Welcome to Heathen's Garage. You saw me bring it home and you saw me tear the interior out. Why don't we do something constructive, like see if we can make it run?
Are you guys gonna be good and stay out of the way while we lower the car? Are you gonna be good?
You're not really acting like you're gonna be good, Luna. All right, down she goes. Is that as far as you're gonna go? That wasn't so hard. Now, for those of you who haven't seen this car, this is her. It is a 1950 Chrysler Desoto. It has a straight six Chrysler engine. Maybe it's like 230 something, I think. I don't know anything about them, but I am gonna try and make it run. Step number one is we gotta get some voltage into it. Now, it's on the old 6-volt system, which I know, well, probably half as much as a 12-volt about. I know we need to charge the battery, and I have a battery charger that says 6-volt on it, so we're going to pull it out. We'll probably fill it with water because it's empty, and then we'll just put the charge on it and see what happens. This hood is supposed to open quite a bit more than it does. It doesn't seem to stay. We'll stick our head underneath and call it good. This is the wrong size wrench. It worked on the negative side, but not the positive. Okay. Well, that wasn't so hard, was it? The good news is batteries without water in them are extremely light. So that's a nice addition. This battery, positive, was hooked up to the red wire, which is hooked to a ground. Is this a positive ground deal? Oh man, how does that operate? I suppose everything's backwards. While that battery charges, we got some other things to do, like, I don't know, check if it has oil in it. Coolant, things like that, I suppose. I'm gonna hit my head on this. We need a 2x4. Better? Now I can really get in here and see. I checked the oil on this thing. I don't know where the dipstick is. Look at that. Smells like it's fresh oil, and it's right, just perfect over full. And look at this. Back in 1950, they would just tell you how much oil it took. 4 imperial quart, as opposed to metric quarts, I guess. Either way, it looks like it's got enough, at least for testing, and it looks really new. Now, we're probably gonna have to take the carburetor apart and clean it, but I'm not gonna adjust it a bit because the guy who used to own this car was the guy that I would take it to tune the carburetor. So I'm expecting that everything's gonna be, you know, just mint, other than old fuel in it, because, well, that can't be helped. Well, let's see if we got coolant. Kind of looks, it's definitely been sort of soldered up or brazed on this side. No. Right here you can see that it's been sort of brazed back up, but there's some evidence it might have been leaking there. We don't have the greatest highest hopes. What's in here? I don't see anything. Oh, that's a different kind of, that's sort of, I don't know how this works. It's got no spring in it or nothing. I guess we'll try some water in the radiator and see if it all goes out the bottom. Water coming out? Whoa, yep, water's coming out. Well, now I'll never know where the water leak is. We ought to just give a quick sniff test on the old fuel tank. Like, it's actually not that bad. Like, it's definitely Varsol, but I've smelled worse from newer stuff. Now, I have no idea if there's any in it. There is a splash in there. I'm betting it's not very flammable anymore. What do we do next here? I guess we see if the engine turns over. Tries to turn it. Oh, it's not looking good. Oh, wait. Another one. Yeah, we're good. Around she goes. Now, so the story goes, this thing ran approximately 2 years ago. I don't, like, there's no real way of verifying that. And, you know, 2 years sometimes means 5 years. You undo this guy. Bolt back here. You just have to loosen it. And then there's this deal. Now, sort of, no, not yet. But now, this is supposed to be full of oil. It feels kind of light. I can hear it sloshing though. There must be oil in there. Now this is wide open. Choke lever. It moves. Does this one move? Feels like it moves. I think everything there is pretty lubricated. Okay, let's get the fuel line off. This is going well. Our battery's taken sort of its own sweet time on the charging cycle, but I think it's working. I see the numbers keep climbing, so we're gonna give it a little while longer. Meanwhile, why don't we push the brake pedal and see what that does? I got a feeling I know exactly what it's gonna do. Go right to the floor. Hey, wait, there might be something there. Oh boy, it just stuck though. Is it possible there's something there? You know, I really shouldn't have done that. I should have at least made sure there was fluid in the reservoir first. That was a mistake. I guess we'll open up the reservoir, which is conveniently located right here. We'll pull this off and see if there's any fluid in it. The guy just went and got the old universal wrench because that's worse in every way, but also really easy. Would you believe there's fluid in there? Look at that. There's fluid in there. We might have brakes. That'd be just unheard of. Feels like there is. Couldn't be, could it? I think there's even fluid moving in there. Oh, it's getting harder and harder though. I hope they release. Boy, wouldn't that be cool if it had brakes without me having to modify it or fix it. Well, I don't know. I topped up the brake fluid and we put the cap back on. Like, I think it might have brakes. Or it'll have all the brakes and none of the go, which is likely. But we'll see, I guess. We're ready to try and spin this thing over. The battery's less ready, so we're gonna drag the battery out here with a charger and a cord. Then we can have it charge while we try and crank on it. This is pretty exciting. It might go well, or it might not. It's nice having such sturdy fenders that you don't... Like, that wasn't even a concern to me that I just set it on the fender. It's just like, no, it's sturdy enough. It's fine. I like that. Oh, that's the way it was. The red cable that fits on the positive post is going to the ground. Like, I don't quite understand that. I guess it's just, you know, the current goes the opposite direction. Or it's backwards. One of the two. I wish I knew what this wire did. Put our battery charger on. Just see what happens. Oh, brother.
Hi. I like your flip prop.
Thanks, it's really good.
Sam trusts it.
Yeah, you're pretty trusting there, Sam, with that 2x6 or 1x6.
Oh, is it like that?
It's like 6 volt and positive ground and everything's sort of the opposite of the way my brain wants to do it.
Well, you should go through the process. And then once you've got it all figured out, you should just switch it to normal 12 volt.
Yeah. This wire here might be important because I noticed that it can plug into this. We're going to leave it off for now until we see what it does. So stay right there. I think the moment has come that we give it a crank. I'm going to go inside and turn the key, and you guys can stay here and just see if it goes round and round. Something buzzes, but I don't know what it was. I also heard a spark. So that wire that I didn't know about, it's for the horn. That's why it's unconnected. Okay, we got clicks. More than nothing. Do I dare try and boost it on 12 and see if it spins? Now, we're not totally sure if the starter is the problem or we don't have enough voltage. So we're just going to try and have a little bit of test light scenario while we click the starter, and we'll go from there. Things are happening, but I don't understand them. Why is that happening? Horn relay and the starter are somehow connected, along with this part. That's the opposite of power. I'm giving it power to the wrong side or something. We're losing quite a bit of voltage through this ground. Maybe we should clean all these terminals up. Damn. Positive ground is so weird. It's the next day. We're getting the starter out. Tell you one thing, that's a chunky one. You know, the best part about having all the seats out is we got a nice little work table here. So this is what we know. We know that this part is actuating, which spins the starter motor forward, and we know that it can turn. What we also know is that it isn't turning. It spins nice both directions for some reason. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna pull these things out, brushes, I guess, and we'll see what it looks like behind them. Oh, that's interesting. Oh, okay. I want to know what the clamp and the duct tape is for. How does this operate? We don't want to wreck anything. It's, well, irreplaceable if we do. Can I pull this back cover off? Can I try that? Will that make my life easier? Oh boy. Well, we're taking the gambles now. That'll get us access to this bearing. We can put a little bit of grease in it too. That'd be good. Oh boy. Oh, what have I done? Life choice. Heathen, why don't you be a little more delicate? Now, gentle. I'm glad this bearing is very dry, so it is just a bronze sort of deal. There's no rollers or anything in it. We're gonna leave that one in so I make sure it goes back on exactly the same because I don't know what I'm doing. We're gonna clean out every one of these slots. We're gonna take a little sandpaper, polish this. We're gonna polish all these. and then we're gonna hope that that fixes it, because I don't know what to do if it doesn't. Not gonna lie, I do wish I paid more attention when I was supposed to be learning about this stuff. I sure don't remember how it works. What I do know is it has to be cleaned. So I have elected for some 220 grit as a paper of choice, because well, that's what I had. Now I'm really glad this was sealed back together with duct tape, because duct tape's something I understand and can duplicate. So like it's pretty clean. I don't know. There's probably other things I'm supposed to do, but like, I don't know what they are, so maybe I'll put a little lubrication in on that bearing. That seems like a wise choice. Other than that, I don't know what else to do. Hey, look at it, it's back together. It just happened by itself. Definitely wasn't an angry sailor putting it back together. Thank goodness it just put itself back together. Anyways, we've got the brushes cleaned, and the thing the brushes ride on, the commutator, I don't remember what it's called. The thing that the brushes ride on, those are both cleaned. I don't know if I know what else to do other than that. So, like, there's more pieces in here, but I don't know. We're going to bench test it. That's what we're going to do, and just see if it works now. Before we even reapply our duct tape, we'll just bench test it quick and see what happens. So we're hooked up just as like we're in the car. What should happen is when I touch power from there to there, like from the little post to the big post, I'll have power. This will come forward and hopefully it goes round and round. That's what we're aiming for. Here we go. Oop, sparks. Pretty lazy, not gonna lie. Why is it so lazy? Shouldn't it be a little faster than this? Oops, I just made sparks. Like it's obviously working, but I think it should be faster than this. Now, it does beg the question, what happens if we just give this 12 volts instead of 6? Like, will it just spin way faster? Wow. It certainly is snappier. I just don't know about this. I guess we'll slip it back in and see what happens. I just about forgot that I needed to retape this. We have the highest quality 3M tape available. We'll use that. It's only 5 years old, so I don't think there'll be a problem. Yeah, well, you're making a mess of this, aren't you? Can't even do the duct taping right. Yeah, roll it through the grass, why don't you? Good plan. What a beautiful mind, hey? What a beautiful, beautiful mind. Oh yeah, this is gonna go great. Start over. Yeah. You know, duct taping stuff is not my strong point. Guess that'll work. Goal is to keep the water out, I think. Alright, now, this does not fit in there well, and it fits in one very specific orientation, but we can work with that. One thing though, it's really heavy. This starter compared to a new starter, this is from back when, you know, guys weren't so wimpy as me. The fit here is extremely exacting. It does not really suit me very well. Not that exacting of a guy. There we go. He's going in. Okay, come on. Don't fight. What's the matter here? What? Why are you in but not in, hey? Oh, there. Now it just fell in. What did I do with the bolt? What did I do with the bolt? Now, getting the starting wires hooked up that's its own struggle. I haven't been enjoying it yet. The best part is you can't see it all. I think we got the wires hooked up. I'm only horribly uncomfortable. That cable out of the way. That cable out of the way. Back in you go. I wonder if this has any voltage. I've let this battery charge for like 6 hours. I have no idea if it's got any voltage in it. I'm just gonna check that. Well, that's we're gonna try take 20 on, seeing if we can get the engine to spin over with the starter. That's a no. Now I don't know if you could see what I saw, but every time I clicked it, I could see the fan just twitch, just like the smallest amount of degree. And I'm wondering to myself, maybe the engine's just really hard to turn over. Like, it seemed to require quite a bit of effort, and maybe that starter is just a little tired. Maybe if I get the engine spun around, pull out the spark plugs, get a little lubrication down there, maybe it'll loosen up enough that I can get spinning over. So that's what we're gonna try next. I think you guys gotta be pretty careful with these spark plug wires. They're kind of weird, you know? Spent the last 15 minutes cleaning out these holes where the spark plugs go so I didn't drop a bunch of sand and vermin residents inside. So that felt like a good use of my time. Alright, we're gonna start with a splash of ATF down every hole. Yeah, because I happen to have a jug open from Turbo Avalanche project. You'll see that in an upcoming video or 3. That's totally unrelated from this project, but you know, I need to talk about something. How do I get onto this engine, turn it around? It looks difficult. So I guess we'll try and figure out how to spin it a different way. Maybe if we tighten this belt up, maybe that'll give us enough to start making the fan turn the engine. Yeah, I don't think I blame the starter for not being able to turn the engine over. That's pretty stiff. Oh, there we go. Oh, yeah. This is going better. Things are happening. I need to hit the gym. We're out of breath. Let's do the fun part and see what happens. I have a 6-volt battery that's currently at 3.6 volts, and that's all it'll put out. Fan even twitching?
No. Oh, yeah, there we go. Yeah, like a millimeter at a time.
Yeah, I think that starter's just too weak.
It hummed louder when you cranked up the booster.
Yeah. I don't know what to do about a weak starter. It seemed really bad. Like I tore it apart and I cleaned the brushes, but I don't know anything about starters enough to fix it further than that. And it's not turning, it's not turning good either. Almost gave up yesterday. Well, that's not fair. I did give up yesterday. Had some other things to accomplish during the day, and this wasn't quite going my way, so I shut the hood on the project yesterday, but we're back at her. It's Monday night, and hopefully you're viewing this Friday. We gotta pull the starter out and try again. Like, we're gonna just yard it right out. We're gonna take it right apart this time. See if we can figure what's wrong with it. Try again. That's the big plan. Ideally, I'd probably take this apart and check it with a voltmeter, but I don't got no voltmeter on me, so we're just gonna take it apart again. We'll start with a solenoid this time. Maybe we'll find something in there that doesn't look right. That's the wrong size. That is off of there. Is it just one screw holds the whole thing together? Oh, and it was loose. That's, no, don't lose that. It'll be gone forever. What does that do? That did nothing. Oh, how about this one? Okay, I like those things too. And then whatever. Really glad I've got the camera running because I'm not convinced I'll remember how to put this all back together. Now we know that this solenoid is working, but we don't know if the contacts that are being touched are being contacted on good enough. That being said, they look really clean from here. How you doing, Elvis? What's going on, little buddy? Hey, you came over to check it out? Not too exciting, buddy. This was worth checking. This looks burnt. Does that look burnt to you? Looks burnt to me. How does this come off? Oh no, where did that screw live? 220 is probably more aggressive than I should be, but it's what I have. Oh, hello, Luna Bear. How are you? We're gonna turn this one around. It looks less bad on the other side. Do I remember how I just took this apart? Or am I gonna have to rewatch what I just videotaped so that I can remember? You get a Robertson screw, you just stick it on there and you just shove it in and it's all fine. You don't even have to think about it. You use blade screws like these and boy, like a person has to develop some hand skills to not drop the screw 18 times. It's really quite magnificent. I sure am glad I found something wrong. Okay. We put the starter back in. I figured you already saw me suffer through it once. That was enough. Got the battery charger on it. Let's try this again. Take 15. It doesn't look good. Even on 12 volt with all the plugs pulled, it still won't turn over. Like I can spin the thing by hand. Admittedly, it's a little stiff, but maybe it's a lot stiff. Let's go around a couple times, see if that helps. I don't think it'll help. Like, My starter cable wasn't tight. That isn't a great start. All that time cleaning it up, and then I left the battery cable loose. What an idiot. Well, I won't lie. I am starting to get a little bit at my wit's end here. Got her cranked up to 12 volt. I should probably just go get another battery and see if that helps, but I thought maybe since it sounded like the key was starting to spark inside, I should just do it out here. And then I realized I could jump the starter and give the engine a turn at the same time, so I'm like, let's try that. It's actually spitting fuel out the line. That's dangerous. Well, if you give it a head start, the starter will spin the engine. I don't think that's fast enough to make it start, but you know, that's pretty good something. We made some progress, I guess. Not quite what I wanted. Since I don't like failing, I was trying to be optimistic, I took it apart one more time. I did find this. I don't know how well you can see it, but these steels right here, this is really wore out on one side. And that's what forces the Bendix forward. So that's, I don't know. You can flip it around, so that's what I'm gonna do. Then it'll be less wore out. I don't think that was the problem. And everything else I looked at was sort of like, you know, just fine. In short, this is the last time I take the starter out. Now I've polished everything really well, as best as I'm able, and I've greased the bearings and tried to make it easy to spin. We'll see if it works or not. I've put the starter together for the last time. If it continues to fail, it goes to someone who knows more than me, because I don't understand. It was right all the way apart. I tested everything I knew how to test, except the magnets, because didn't know how to test them. Maybe that's the problem, I don't know, but either way, if it doesn't work this time, it goes to somebody else. And to make the job a little more enjoyable, it's now raining. Oh well. I'm wet, I'm cold, the starter's sort of back in. One of the bolts isn't tight, but thought maybe I should just see if it works before I bother tightening it all the way in again. So, you know, here goes nothing. Well, that hasn't worked. Thus far, we have had zero success getting this engine to spin over with the starter, other than when I gave it a pull. So we splurged for a battery, or rather, my dear wife did, and we'll see if having a decent battery in there makes all the difference. That sure would be better than having to send it off to be rebuilt. Oh, there's the old battery. So this one, when we put the voltmeter on, it only showed 3.7. Now it showed more than that when I was charging, so I figured I'd get away with it, but I don't know, it's not spinning, so I figured I'd try a big battery before pulling the starter for the 5th time. This battery is a bit bigger, and it's a deep cycle. I don't know really what that means other than you can kill them more. I'm pretty good at killing batteries, so that sounds good to me. Oh boy, my wife must think I'm very strong. Give me this one. You know, I think it'll fit, and I think it'll clear the hood. That's good enough for me. Well, how optimistic are we this time? Not. We're not very optimistic, but we'll see. Whatever the opposite of smug is, that is what I'm feeling currently. Because I took a starter in and out 4 times. Not only in and out, but in and out and disassembled and in and out and disassembled. And what it really needed was a battery. And I thought it would run off the charger. Worse things have happened. Let's see if we can make this thing run. I smell fuel. It smells awful, but let's see if it burns. of an ugly color. Now what we're really hoping for here is like a woof. Not like a gentle fire, but like a... That was a fire? I think that's going to be flammable enough. Okay, we're just going to get the car back on the ground so it's easy to work on. Up you go. Okay, down it goes. Now we pull all these plugs out. We'll give them a little scuff and a clean. Oh, there goes my screwdriver forever. Spin the engine over for a little while, see if anything comes out. I thought I heard a snap there, like it might have been sparking. Could that be? No, surely not. Let's clean those plugs. In with the plugs, I guess. I wouldn't say they're like real clean, but we gave the important bits a quick scuff. It'll be hopefully enough. Like, what are the odds it's gonna have spark anyways? We might actually do the thing that we set out to do today. And if we do, like, I'm gonna be pretty ecstatic. All right, you there, and you there. I like it when the plug wires are easy to figure out simply because they only fit one way. And also because they're so old that they have molded themselves to specific places. That's just ideal. We're pretty optimistic about the spark here, aren't we, Ethan? You're not even gonna try and test it first? Just gonna spin it and see if it starts, eh? I don't think so, but you never know. We know fuel's getting to the carburetor. Now we're gonna see if fuel's getting into the carburetor. I don't think so. Did you see that? We have spark, that much is apparent. We'll do this. There we go. Whoops, yeah, it's very little everywhere. It's idling. Oops. I haven't done anything, and it's idling. How is it idling? Do you see that? It idles and it runs. Not necessarily on its own fuel supply, but this is big success. Now I can end the episode on a good note. Because by the way, it's Wednesday and the video comes out Friday and it's not edited. So this is like pretty good news for me. Yeah, this is good. Thank you all for watching. I appreciate liking and subscribing. Bye. We'll see you next time. We're gonna get this thing moving next time.